You got the degree, you have the debt, or maybe you spent years teaching yourself. Fueled by passion, late night tutorials, you have folders filled with work, you have the skills and the drive. So why does it feel like you're screaming into a black hole? If you're an artist who emails their portfolio to an editor and feels like it just disappears, you're refreshing your email, just begging for that reply that never comes. If you're posting your best work online and hearing crickets, I do want you to know one thing. You are not alone. And if you feel lost, it's not your fault. It's because the system has failed to give you what you need to make it in the industry. Let me tell you a story to illustrate my point. It was one of my first portfolio reviews. I knew the company was looking for artists. I worked off their sample script and I drew it over and over and over and over and over as many times just to get it right. Spending many nights after a long day of work, I was determined to succeed. What made this even more important to me was that this was also one of my first American conventions. Since before this, I only attended one in Canada in my home city. This was the big leap for me, especially that I was barely making any money at the time and living on a shoestring budget. Now I was feeling like I made it. I remember my hands shaking, like literally shaking. I was so excited. I had my black portfolio, you know, the big one with the crisp new plastic sleeves. I practiced my script in the mirror. This was it. Years of hard work, education, all coming down to this moment, the climax, because this was my shot. So I remember walking up to the editor's table at a prominent comic company whose comics I was a huge fan of. I had admired them for years. So he opened up my book, he flipped to one page, he flipped to the second, he didn't even get to my best piece. He made this noise. And then I will never forget what he said.
You will never make it in this industry. You should just give up.
Never once did he look up at me. The air just left my lungs. I remember the sound of the convention floor. It suddenly started getting loud, like roaring in my ears. I just mumbled, "Thank you for your time." I closed my portfolio, turned around, and walked off before I could burst into tears. I was absolutely crushed. A flood of mixed emotions washed over me. The hurt, the anger, the total confusion. I thought I did everything right. And the worst part, I had no idea why I failed. He just said, "Give up," not what to fix. He never bothered to give me a proper critique, but instead acted in a way that I felt was very irresponsible for his position of power. If he didn't want to take the time to give me a critique, you know what, that is fine, but to tell me so coldly I would never make it, it's not something I ever expected an editor to say. All my emotions built up, replaying what just happened. I kept repeating to myself, what am I supposed to do now? What am I supposed to do now? I felt so lost, so demoralized, not to mention embarrassed. Was my art really that bad? Was there nothing I could do to correct to make it better? Was I just fooling myself that I could make this my career? It hit me like a punch in the gut. But this was also the turning point for me. As the sting faded, something shifted. I wanted to prove him wrong. This was just one editor. I knew if I worked harder, I could find editors who actually cared to help me get proper critiques. I could make it. The path was just gonna be harder than I first believed, but I was gonna go figure it out. But I just wish someone would help me understand what that path would entail. It took me years to understand what he saw in those first few seconds. My pages were just a collection of good drawings, not a story. My anatomy was okay, but my character acting was non-existent. I was a decent illustrator, but I wasn't a comic book artist yet. That was the best I could do, but it wasn't good enough. It turns out I was blind to what I call the good artist traps. A good artist trap is a habit or belief that feels productive, like focusing only on your technical rendering or getting praise from your friends. But this is actually an amateur tell. It gets your portfolio instantly rejected by the professionals that you're trying to impress. I was falling for 3 major traps that were killing my choices and making my work look amateur, even though my skills were sharp. I am gonna walk you through the 3 major traps because the third one is the one that once I finally understood it, it changed my career. The first trap is the one that rejection taught me. And it's number 1, believing that good art is enough. Here's the hard truth. Art school rewards you for how well you draw. The industry pays you for how well you communicate. As a comic artist, you are a storyteller with your art. What's the difference? A professor looks at your drawing of a character and says, wow, your anatomy is perfect. Your rendering is beautiful. A+. An editor, on the other hand, looks at the exact same drawing and thinks, I don't know what this character is feeling. This story's not clear. This composition is confusing. Pass, all in the matter of 3 seconds or less. You are being graded on a completely different set of rules, and no one gave you the rubric. That's where the hidden rules come in. There's a saying in comics, to get hired, you need 2 of 3 things. Be amazing, be fast, or be easy to work with. But here's the truth. Before you even get a chance to prove any of that, your portfolio is your first audition. It has to do the talking for you. This leads to a second, more dangerous trap. Number 2, believing your teachers, friends, peers are your audience. Now, think about the environment of art school. It's nourishing. You spent an entire semester with your professor, you built a rapport, you had office hours, pinned your work to the wall, and you had 20 minutes to explain your vision and also talk about your process. And the same thing happens when you ask your friends or your peers for critiques. They care about you, so they focus on what you did well, what they love about your work. Oh my god, that character looks so cool! They mean it with all of their best intentions, but their eye isn't trained like an editor's. They're not looking for what makes your pages stand out in a submission pile. They're looking for ways to make you feel supported. That entire experience builds a dangerous and false sense of security, because in the real world, the editor has just 3 seconds. They're in a crowded convention hall with a line of 50 artists behind you, or they have 200 portfolios in their inbox, and this is all before lunch. They're not there to discover your potential. They are there on a deadline, looking for a professional who can solve their problem today. Your portfolio isn't a conversation starter. It's a yes, no test. And it's over before you even sit down. And that brings us to the third trap, the one that causes the most anxiety and the one that finally changed everything for me. 3, believing the path is obvious. We see the holy grail dream, don't we? We see artists working for DC and Marvel. We see the beautiful book covers, the animated films, the dream gig at the big publisher. We see the finish line. But what no one gives you is the map, especially when you feel like you're failing time after time. Between you and that dream gig is a giant dork-filled chasm. And you're just standing on the edge, holding your portfolio, feeling lost and asking, what do I do next? Honestly, it's no wonder you feel like you're screaming into the black hole. You were given a destination with no directions. But here is the good news. It's not magic. It's a craft. It is the hidden language in every professional portfolio. Editors see it instantly. Once you spot the pro tells, you'll start seeing them everywhere. And the puzzle pieces will finally start falling into place. The first step to breaking through this confusion is to stop looking at your art like the artist who made it, and instead start looking at it like the editor who hires. You need to develop what I call the editor's eye. It's a new way of seeing. It's like installing a new software into your brain that allows you to spot the problems in your own work before you send it out. It's the ability to diagnose your own work with a cold, professional clarity. Once you spot what they see, that changes everything. Now, to get you started, I've put together a simple checklist that breaks down the top 5 amateur tells that get your portfolios rejected quietly. It's completely free, and it's your first step to downloading that editor's eye into your own brain. You have the talent. Now it's time to get the clarity. Click the link in the description below to grab your free checklist. Thank you.